Look at this ingredient that we got here. So looks like we're going to do the savory filling.
Yeah. So we're going to do the savoury dumpling now, and we're going to do the shiitake mushroom dumplings that are my absolute favourite. So we've got these shiitake mushrooms here that we chopped up quite finely, and they're a lovely mushroom to work with because they're packed with glutamate, so they have that umami. I know you love.
I love the umami. I love the shiitake mushroom. I love like sort of both fresh one and the dry one.
And the flavour of these are quite earthy. I know you always use dried shiitake mushrooms a lot, and you can even incorporate them here because they have quite a pronounced flavour.
Yes.
And even that water that they soak in. I remember you telling me about that.
Yes, that will be in another recipe that I can share it with you. So have to keep an eye out on my
Sawadee Cut channel.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to use quite basic seasoning with this because when it comes to dumplings, I always want the vegetable or the filling to shine, so I don't overdo it when it comes to the filling. So I am just going with, and this is my classic combo, just garlic and chilli. And I'm using these finger chilies, they're bird's eye chilies.
Yeah, like a Thai chili.
Yeah.
Very spicy.
Exactly. And the red ones, they always have like a citrusy fruitiness to it as well, but also a lot of heat. And other than that, just a little bit of light soy sauce, which is our seasoning.
Right.
And then we've got some toasted black sesame oil, which will go right in at the end. And the black sesame oil has a more pronounced flavour. It's a bit more nutty than your traditional white sesame oil. Realistically, you can use either.
It's like sort of the smell of it is more rounded. It's just...
Yeah, smell that and see what you think.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. So nutty. So
it's good, isn't it?
It's very unique smell with the sesame oil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's got a little bit of the hint of the sweetness to it as well.
Because it's been toasted, so it's some toasted black sesame seeds, we're going to add this right at the end when all the heat is off and we're done. And it's just going to give us that little bit of fragrance and smell to it. A little bit of fragrance and a kind of flavour to it. Our dumpling wrapper, same as we did for the sweet ones, minus the cinnamon and vanilla. We've got our tapioca flour and our plain flour. You can interchange the tapioca flour and substitute it for rice flour, corn flour. It's just a little bit of additional starch, which makes it easier to work with. We're also going to throw in some of these spring onions. So we're going to use the whites for cooking and the greens at the end, just to add a little bit of that kind of that allium flavour. And that's it really, it's quite a simple dumpling.
Perfect.
And I know you've got some fun stuff to serve it with.
Well, I might do something to add a little bit of Pookie touch to this dish. So wait and see.
Pookie, I'll leave you to do the dough.
Okay.
You're absolutely brilliant. So here's the plain flour, the tapioca flour, and the boiling water.
So your filling in this is mainly the shiitake mushroom.
Shiitake mushroom. You can use mixed mushrooms if you like.
Yeah.
So you can use some wood ear mushrooms, the dried ones that you can.
And
really
chestnut mushroom, I love that as well. I think I might do a little bit of the dry shiitake mushroom with the crumb, like sort of use the hard tofu and then fork it and then make it like sort of into the crumb texture.
That would be really nice. You could do that.
And then do the two filling.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then we can try them both.
Let's try that. That would be delicious. But you can use any mushrooms here that you like. You could use, like you said, you could use chestnut mushrooms. You could use oyster mushrooms. I love them. They're so buttery when they cook that you can use those. The dried shiitake, wood ear mushrooms. Honestly, any you like. It just works so well. But the main thing to remember with mushrooms is you need to use more than you think, because as they cook, they're gonna sweat out and shrink. But I just love the flavour. If you don't like mushrooms, you can use any vegetables. The main thing is just to chop them up finely or blitz them through a food processor until they're quite coarse. And I would keep the seasoning the same. But if you don't like mushrooms, use any vegetables of your choice.
Carrot, celery, cabbage,
edamame.
Yes.
What else could you use? Peppers.
Oh, also.
Even broccoli. Whatever you want, you can just
chop it up and then and then use it. It's quite freestyle, really. Think we might need a little bit more hot water.
So Pookie, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the spring onions ready.
Yeah.
Because we're going to use the whites for cooking. But what are you planning to do after MasterChef? What's your plan?
Well, like I said before, we are planning to travel the world on our boat but we're just going to do it slowly.
Yeah.
And from places to places that we visit, we will go like sort of traveling and explore their cuisine, the local cuisine, and then I come back and cook on board the boat as well. But after the experience of MasterChef, I think I quite fancy the idea of doing the private dining on my yacht.
I think you'd be brilliant at that.
Ooh,
sorry.
And then you can be my guest chef on board as well.
I would love to. I would love to. I do want to come and see your boat.
Yeah,
I know how much work you put into the boat there, so I definitely want to come and see it.
Yeah, please do. How about yourself then? What is your plan now?
Well, like you, I would love to do a bit of private dining and have, you know, a few supper clubs and kind of get my food out there, because I think it'd be quite nice to see, you know, other people enjoy your food, isn't it?
Oh yeah, when you cook with love,
Yeah.
and you see the face of the people who tasted your creation, and of course your dishes are always unique, and it's so special how you can like extract the taste, the flavor and the texture. Because you are vegetarian, it's not easy to do like some chicken texture. I mean, you showed me the texture of the chicken that you made. Oh my god, I couldn't believe that wasn't.
Seitan,
yeah, that wasn't chicken, that wasn't meat. He's a genius.
In that sense, I feel like it's nice to be a little bit creative.
Yes, which you are.
I remember in one of the dishes I did, I had those mushroom momos, which I loved, and that was kind of my replacement.
Like you say, sometimes when you never try the thing that you know or used to, you never know the difference. And if they don't click it, sometimes it's difficult to try to translate what you try to achieve.
Definitely. Right, so our dough is done there. We'll do the same as before, and we're just going to let that relax, and then we'll crack on with the filling. Sound good?
Yeah.
Oil is really, really hot.
Then we
Pop in the mushrooms.
Caramelize it a bit.
Oh, sorry. So Pookie, we're just going to let that sit, and can you smell the nuttiness already?
Yeah.
Can you smell the change in smell? So we're going to let that sit and start to sweat out. No salt, nothing. That high heat and that smoke, it's just going to crisp it up. So they're searing the mushroom. And when you smell that nuttiness, you know it's time to start moving it. And then we'll move it, let it sit, move it, let it sit. And then we'll let it put it into a layer, and we'll let it continue to cook up.
Yeah, just spreading it.
You want it to just start to caramelize.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're going to get loads of flavour out of the mushroom.
Chicken mushroom.
They're the best, aren't they? Almost there, probably about another minute or so. And then we'll push it all to one side, and we'll start doing our onions, our garlic, and our chili. So do you eat a lot of chili?
I know that I'm from Thailand, but I'm not very good with too much of the spicy. I love the spice, just to have enough of the kick.
So when it's balanced, so you can still taste everything else. Okay. So quickly, what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind just popping a little bit more oil just on one side there. I'll push all the mushrooms back. And then what we'll do, we'll pop in our spring onions there. And we're just using the whites because the greens will wilt if we add it in too early. A little bit of our garlic. Pookie, if you wouldn't mind just giving that mix at the same time, just so none of it burns. Then we're also going to add in our chili. There we go.
Oh, the smell of that garlic. Beautiful.
Sometimes I do add some ginger into this, so that chili garlic ginger combination, it's just incredible. Perfect, so we're giving that a good 30 seconds. We're not trying to brown the garlic at all. And then all we're going to do now, thanks Pookie, we're just going to mix it all together and turn our heat down a little.
And then we have to rest it to get it cool down before we put it in our wrapper.
We just want it to cool down a little bit. So Pookie, what we're going to do, give you the soy sauce and the sesame oil. Add the soy sauce in now. That's it. And that's all we need to season. You can add some white pepper into it if you like.
The white pepper gives more spices.
Yeah. So we're going to keep this quite simple.
Yes.
But anyone doing this recipe, they can really adjust it
They
to whatever they like. And then we'll turn the heat off now as well. And what's your favourite? What are your favourite dumpling fillings?
Oh gosh, I have all sorts. I love the mushroom for
Yeah.
the like kind of vegetarian day.
Yeah.
And I love my seafood, so I
Yeah.
love king prawn,
Yeah.
I love scallop filling.
Yeah.
And when I do like king prawn or scallop, I have to mix it with a little bit of minced pork as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
So it gives a little bit more like sort of a combined
Yeah.
taste and
Yeah.
the fat from the pork helping.
And what seasoning? What's your kind of go-to seasoning with the dumplings? Was it
I
anything?
love no seasoning with the dumpling when it finished. I like to dip in the Chinese red wine vinegar. The sourness it cut through the like sort of the dough and thing. And but today I might do it into another form.
Okay.
Of the vinegar.
I'm curious to see what that is.
Yeah.
So Cookie, all I've done is transferred that filling to here, to a little bowl so it can start to cool down. And then I'm going to pop in some finely sliced spring onions, the greens of it, and then let that cool completely, and then we're good to fill the dumplings. So I'll get prepping on that.
Okay, Rishi, there you are.
Onions. The homegrown ones are always like more pungent.
Oh, that's really, oh, got a bit of a cake. Beautiful. A little bit, oh, not a little bit, quite a lot of the spice, but I'm sure when it go into the dumpling wrapper, it's going to work perfectly because you need that kick.
Yeah. But we can always serve with chili oil if you want a little extra kick.
We will serve with the chili oil.
We don't have to.
No, we do.
So we've got our dough here that's rested. You can feel how soft that is. So we're going to take a little bit of rice flour. You can use tapioca flour, corn flour, whatever you like, just to dust that, which will help it to basically stop sticking. You could do this the traditional way and make like the circle, you know, the donut, and cut individual bits off, but this is a shortcut and a cheats way. But you get them all even, which I like. Do like the odd shortcut here and there. So I'm just going to roll that out a little bit with a rolling pin, just to get us started on the roller. Okay, and then I'll leave that to you, Pookie.
So how many fold you wanted? That you check, yeah? So
Yes, absolutely.
So while Richie is preparing the dough for our savory dumpling, I'm just going to do the caviar, which today I'm doing the Chinese vinegar caviar to go with this dumpling. So all I need is the vinegar in and sprinkle the agar on. You can see my full recipe on swatikat.com. There is a link there for you. And bring it to boil. Because of with agar, you need to activate the agar with the heat. So it needs to be above 80-85 degrees Celsius, right? Yeah. So bring it to boil, and that roughly sort of 90-100 degrees Celsius already. So that would activate the agar for us. Have a little stir. Stay away from the smoke that come out from the vinegar a bit because that is quite sharp aroma. It's very quick on this. Don't stir too much, just a little bit, just to get the agar to go around the vinegar. And that's it. Then we let it to cool down, and we're going to continue the next step. Right. Once you have your vinegar boil with the agar, let it cool down a little bit. So bring the temperature down from like so boiling hot, and then use your syringe or some dropper if you have it, and drop in the very ice cold vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil. I find it that doesn't come out very well. I find vegetable oil is perfectly work for me. And then you just drop it slowly like that.
Wow.
Drop by drop. Then that will create your perfect pearl. And I found this. This is my flower pot puree that I found in the market somewhere. Yeah? And I'm going to try whether it works or not. It might not work, okay? That's it?
Yeah, it's working.
The man can see.
That's amazing.
Now you can do that, Rishi.
Okay, one drop at a time.
Yeah. Yes. See? A little bit higher. Perfect, Rishi. You got it. Yeah, that's enough for now, and then we can carry on a bit. So once it's set in there, you can see that it forms into the little
Caviar. Wow.
Then you just like sort of drain the oil out, so you can do it again. This time I do it with the Chinese vinegar because of it got the sourness and it will cut through the dumpling.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
Look at that.
I love that. That's perfect. That's amazing.
Yeah, and of course you can melt it down again. Anything that
True.
because of agar once it hit the heat over 85 degree, it melting down anyway, and it reactivate the agar again. And then you let it cool down a little bit, about 50-60 degree. Drop it in the cold oil, and it should form your perfect caviar.
So with this technique, what else do you make caviar out of?
I make it with the oranges that we use with the pudding, and I can do it with all sort of liquid. I did it with the Coca-Cola. I did it with the cocktails.
Wow.
So I did it with lemon. I did it with anything. But do remember that the consistency, the texture of the liquid, the thinner it is, you need a bit more agar.
Of course. Wow.
Yeah. So you continue with dropping that again. Please. I'm just going to rinse that the caviar out in the water so we get all the oil out. You okay there, Rishi?
Yeah, no, it's
Because it is vinegar, so it's a little bit sour.
Yeah.
So I tend to keep my caviar that I done after I rinse off all the oil or the grease off in the liquid itself of the one that you made off. But because it's brown color, if I put that in, you can't see.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put in a little bit of lemon juice.
Okay, lemon
because
juice.
Because it's sour.
Yeah. So is that just lemon juice?
Yeah, just to keep it in. Lemon juice with water.
Water, okay.
And a little bit of sugar to have like sort of a little bit of
balance it out.
And that you can keep it in the fridge for probably, as and when you use it for the next week or so.
Wow.
Richie, you're going to try this.
Alright. Here we go.
Can you taste it? Do you like it?
Yeah.
He's quiet for the first time, honestly. He hasn't been stopped talking whole day.
It's so different. It's got almost like a jelly-like texture with a bit of a pop, and then all this acidity, but it's not overpowering. That's genius, Pookie. I really like that, and I'm probably going to nick that idea.
Oh, okay, I'll let you use it then.
I'm just doing quite a simple fold on this one. It's quite a quick fold as well.
I think our dumpling is done.
Wow. That looks amazing.
So you want to
I love these round ones you done, Pookie.
You mean like the bowl that I made from the dough?
I love the colour though.
Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? So
Amazing.
let's try to do it. Here you are.
Thank you. Let's try. I'm going to nick one of yours because I think it just looks amazing. It's like a nice little dumpling platter, isn't it?
Yeah. Just have to do something a bit different. I think we got a different pattern as well, haven't we? That we can use.
And have you done more?
Yeah, some more
You've
here.
got a lot. You have to put the fish on yours. You have to put the fish there, Pookie.
My God, if I can get it up.
There we go. Look at that.
There you are.
I love that.
And then we can like just do something with it.
Use that on that one. That's a good one.
You want some more in yours?
No, I think we're good there.
Okay.
How would you like to garnish this? Tell me all about it.
Right. I'm going to put a bit of my vinegar, the Chinese jisho, which is a Chinese red wine vinegar, onto that so we can see it a bit. So it looks like a bubble on the tail of the fish. Maybe a little bit on this one. Because of the taste, the flavor.
Yeah, I love that it just sits in there.
Yes, perfect, isn't it? In the
Yeah.
little pocket. And then a little bit of chili oil that you made. In another pocket.
Quite hot, Pookie.
It's alright. I'm not eating it. I will give it to my husband. Look at that. Have to have a bit of color on, isn't it? So add that for you.
I see.
And I got a little surprise here. So with the I'm putting the Chinese touch back onto the plate with this creation. So I'm having the black sesame oil snow. Can you smell that?
Yes, that's amazing, Pookie. I'm going to be putting that on mine as well.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah,
that's
there
amazing.
you are.
I'm going to copy you with the caviar as well.
Okay, go ahead. With the plating, you can play with your imagination, really. So try to imagine the flavor that you want to go with your dish and the look that you want to present to your guests. Yeah, play with that. Hey.
That, I don't know what to say to you, Pookie. Hats off to you. That's amazing.
There you are. Pookie and Rishi dumpling of the day.